Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the Prem Game Week 17 predictions. We've just gotten through the EFL Cup quarterfinals, so more games to talk about, and let's just go straight into it. Now this first game I think is going to be a pretty good one. I think Man City is trying to get back in form. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that before January. And this is a big game. Aston Villa, regardless of how they're doing right now, is a good team. They have the quality. I think Aston Villa is going to take this one. It's going to be a 2-1. I think Man City is going to start in with an early goal. But as usual, I think their defense is going to capitulate. And I think they're going to fall apart. I think West Ham, again, has had a really rough start to the season. And I think no matter what they've done, they haven't been able to fix that. Meanwhile, Brighton has had a pretty good start to the season, but they've started to, their form started to fall a little bit, and I think this will be an important game to kind of rocket them back. I think they're going to win this one. I think it's going to be another 2-1 to Brighton. I think West Ham's going to get a goal, but I think that Brighton overall is just going to have too much for the game. This one's an easy game. Let's be real. This one's an easy game. Ipswich, I think, is going to get relegated. I don't think that they have the quality to stay up and to compete. I think they've tried hard. But Newcastle, let's be honest, is a good team. They have quality. They have good players. Isak is back and he's firing on all cylinders. This man is a demon. Love to see him play. I think this game is going to be 3-0 for Newcastle. It's going to be an utter domination. Brentford has been a pretty decent team. I always view them as they're a safe team. They're never going to get relegated. They're going to be safe. They're going to do okay, but nothing more. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest genuinely has a chance at Europe, right? They have a chance in the Europa League. I think they're going to win this game, but I don't expect it to be a slaughter. I think Nottingham Forest just lost a little bit of their steam from the start of the season. I think it's going to be 1-0 to them, but I do think they're going to win. Now this is just a repeat game of what we saw this week, but I think it'll have a few key differences. In the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace game in the EFL Cup, we had a pretty much bench Arsenal game. And Crystal Palace came up with a full lineup. I think Arsenal's going to put together a full lineup. They're going to have their best players. I think Gabriel Jesus might play, though, just based off of his previous performance. But we'll see on that one. I think this is going to be an easy win for Arsenal. Now, you might say, yeah, but it was a pretty close game. I think Crystal Palace just took a really big hit with Eze now being injured. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow, which is going to be difficult to overcome. So we'll see on that one. But I expect it to be 3-1 to Arsenal. Basically the same prediction I made for the EFL Cup game. I think this is another easy game. Everton has not been great. Yeah, defensively they've been pretty good and they held Arsenal to a standstop, but this Arsenal's team has been all over the place, sadly. It's been rough for me to watch. But this Chelsea team is in a title race. I don't care what anybody's saying. Yeah, they have to take it game by game, but they have the quality. I think it's going to be 3-0. Chelsea just has that quality. They just have the players. Caicedo's turning up. Enzo Fernandez is turning up. Cole Palmer is showing up. All these players this season have been elevated to another level. And I think that Chelsea, if they can keep this up, keep these performances up, they'll be there on the final day. They'll be pushing for something. This is an interesting game to talk about. I think United is a little bit unpredictable just because new managers come in. They now have tactics. They now have a form. It's difficult to say what you're going to get with Man United. I think a lot of their players look rejuvenated. I think Ahmad has looked so good, and he has so much quality. It's been good to see him open up. I think Amarim's getting the best out of his players. I think a couple of their players, though, are in interesting situations. I think Garnacho is going to be fine, right? He's young. He's going to be able to fix things, right? right? But Rashford is interesting. He's 27 now. We can't keep talking about him being a kid. He's not a kid anymore. I don't know what's going to happen with him and with this whole United side. It's difficult to tell in these early stages. And then we have Bournemouth, who have been electric, right? Again, I think they're pushing for a European spot for Christmas. And I think they can get there too with Man City slipping in form. I don't know. I expect there to be goals. I'm going to go with the 3-1. This might be a little bit crazy to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth has been really good. I think they're going to keep it up. And I think United, I don't think they're going to have enough to beat this side. Southampton, again, this is another team that's going to get relegated. It's sad to talk about, but I don't see it happening any other way. They just haven't been able to put enough points on the board. And then Fulham has been a pretty good team this season. They have a lot of good players, and they've been doing very well. They're pushing for those top spots. I think it's gonna be 1-0. I know you expect more goals. I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be a tough, hard-fought game, but I do think Fulham's gonna come out with a win. I don't know how this game's gonna look. I'm going to be shocking and say Leicester City's going to win this. Wolves, they have been looking better recently, but Leicester City, I think, are going to go with this manager balance, and I think they're going to push for results, especially in these games. These are must-win games for any team that wants to stay up. Wolves is in the relegation zone, and Leicester's right there. They win this game, they're going to get a little bit more comfortable, they're going to be a little bit more established, and hopefully they can stay in the Prem. I don't know, I would like to see one of those newly promoted teams stay in the Prem. It would just be something kind of sweet. Final game is probably the most exciting, Tottenham versus Liverpool. Now this game, I have no idea what to expect. Liverpool has been really good this season. I think they're starting to slow down a little bit. I think that there's still obvious choices for the Prem, but they're gonna have a lot to overcome. This is gonna be a very important game in the grand scheme of things because they're going away to Tottenham, and that's always a difficult game. And Tottenham is very, how do I say this? It's hard to know what you're going to get when you go to Tottenham. They can play insanely well or they can play really badly. I think in this case they're going to play really well and they're going to push for something. I'm going to be crazy and say a 2-2 draw. I think this is going to be like Newcastle. Tottenham always shows up against those big teams, especially at home, and I think they're going to want to hold Liverpool to a draw. Now this is going to be an important period for any of those teams looking to compete to get points on the board. Anyway, those are my Prem predictions. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I got wrong, what you think I got right. And again, let me know if you can guess what my Prem team is. Anyway, I'll talk to you in the next video.